Welcome to my channel. This is a reading for Taurus from the month of June 25th to the end of July 2020. If you're new to my channel, thank you for stopping by. If you are a returning visitor, I really appreciate your continued support. So I just wanted to quickly give you an idea, if you are new to the channel, how I've laid things out. The cards that I have off to the side here are a little out of range just because of lack of space, and I tend to pull a lot of cards because I like a lot of the different meanings for varied readings. I find each of the cards really do contribute different inspirations and perspectives. So basically, I have some cards off to the side, but I'll pull them forward as we go through. These are all general energies for the month of, as I say, June 25th to July. I'm having to divide it into the 2 months simply because I just haven't had a lot of time as of late to be able to get all the readings out. So I am trying to work on that best I can. So the general energies are again off to the side, which I also have 4 advice cards. Some of them just fall out. Usually I just pull 3, but anyway, these would be your advice cards, and I'll go through the decks as well. I'm using several decks, and I also have a new deck, which a very close friend of mine had given to me, and it's the Good Witch Tarot, and I really want to thank her for that, for the cards. They are a beautiful, they've got some really beautiful images on the cards, and it's a whimsical deck is how I would state it. It's a whimsical type deck. So anyway, back to how I'm reading here. This is again general readings. Everything that's basically toward the top here is more along general energies for the month, as well as a couple of different cards here as well, which I'll again go through the decks. And then I've got everything that falls below that in the center, which is the Rider-Waite deck. Those will all be for career and finance. So again, I do have several decks here, which I'm using, as I mentioned, the Rider-Waite deck, which is what I use primarily for career and finance. I'm also using the Hidden Realms, Wisdom of the Hidden Realms, and that's by Colette Baron-Reid. That would be, sorry, just trying to find all my cards here. All right, I guess that one's out of my view right at this second, but I'll get to that one as I go through. So I also have the Muse deck, and that would be the Muse Tarot, which is by Chris Ann. So again, I'll pull them forward as I go through. And I also have the Archangel Power deck, and that is by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine, as well as the Goddess Guidance Oracle cards, which is by Doreen Virtue. And I also have the Tori Hartman deck, which is Chakra Wisdom Tarot, which I also have some cards off to the side with that one. And I'm also using the Enchanted Map, which is by Colette Baron-Reid. That would be the cards to the back here also. And I'm also using the Numerology Guidance cards by Michelle Buchanan. That would be these cards here toward the very back and at the other side there. And I'm also using the Fortune Reading cards, and that would be the Chariot and the Dragonfly, and that one's by Sharina Starr. And as I mentioned, I have 2 other cards in the center here, Partnership and Protection, and that's the Book of Rune cards. That's by Ralph Bloom. And I'm also using just the Fortune Telling deck playing cards, and that's by Jonathan D. So those are just, again, just regular cards, but Jonathan D is the one that I will be using with the explanation for the regular cards. So in general, what I did pick up from the reading was that, sorry, I just found the Hidden Realms cards. That would be these ones here. So that's the Spirit Whisperer cards. Or sorry, the Hidden Wisdom of the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms by Colette Baron-Reid. Just wanted to throw that out there. Okay, so what I did pick up from the reading in general was that certainly there's absolutely no problems in terms of finance. I just see a lot of things coming your way. over the course of the next month, and that would be again June 25th to end of July. Generally, there's some overlap into other months, as would be any kind of goal or dream that we pursue. Things don't show up in one month, but definitely you're going to start seeing some of those things manifest you're going to start seeing some of those rewards financially and otherwise coming through over the course of the next month, and as I say, end of June. So I did feel that you are having some difficulty. I will also just add, I don't do relationship readings. I do feel that relationships overlap with a lot of our financial situations, and certainly in life in general, spiritually and otherwise. So I may touch on it, but I don't go into a lot of detail as far as the interplay of relationships. But the whole dynamic, I think that's better left with a more detailed reading. So again, I'll just touch on some points of interest in regards to relationships, because they do often overshadow a lot of the aspects of our financial world, as well as just in general. So, but again, they are general readings, so don't force a fit. I do feel that there were a few different people this may apply to in this reading, at least 3 different people that this would speak to, because I picked up a lot of different angles on some of the cards. For sure, there is some relationship aspects that are coming through that I felt, maybe you were having some difficulty with. Nothing extremely trying, more about your perspective of that relationship versus what was actually going on. I do feel that you also had some issues about either receiving or being open to receive, or maybe you're a little closed off in some sense in regards to some of the good things that are trying to come to you through this period. But overall, I did feel lots of movement in terms of change and rewards and happiness and taking a leap of faith, and just overall it's like you've come to, as the card says here, some kind of karmic completion, and everything is starting to turn in your favor, because the karmic completion card is the equivalent basically of the Wheel of Fortune. So things have a cycle, and you're coming to the end of that cycle. So I did feel that maybe there was some kind of a loss that you were still struggling with in this period of time, whether that's related to a specific type of relationship, and not a personal relationship as in a love relationship. But either way, it's some kind of a loss or something that maybe there's a mourning of some sort that you're dealing with. But I just felt that there was also some struggle on that front as well. So again, lots of reward coming through, definitely some changes, happiness, but you're really just sort of having some inner challenges, and perhaps holding, I don't know that yet. Again, I'm just glancing at the cards. I don't know yet that you're holding back on emotions, or if you're just letting something fly out. But I do feel that there is some intensity of emotions here. But again, as we go through, we'll detail that. But I do feel there is some kind of struggle with your emotional state as you're going through these changes for that period of time. Again, June 25th to the end of July 2020. So again, if you're new to my channel, all the general reading cards are basically toward the back, and then there's a few with my new deck, because my friend had passed this on to me, which I thought was amazing, and I just wanted to share that. This deck, it is, as I say, really picturesque and very whimsical, fairly simple read, I would say. Great for beginners, but the cards themselves, still represent as they would with the Rider-Waite deck. So I'm still going to be using them. But that's the Everyday Witch Tarot, and I guess I forgot to mention that the art is by Elizabeth Elba, and the deck itself is by Deborah Blake. So again, that's the Everyday Witch cards. Okay, so I'll start off with the back cards, which is the Chariot, and that is the fortune reading cards by Sharina Starr. So with the Chariot, let me see if I can pull that all through here. So the Chariot, as it would be as the Chariot in, all of the other decks, they are slightly different deck to deck, but I'll try to give you the meaning of this deck and then maybe pull it through, I guess, as we go along with the others. But the Chariot in this particular deck indicates charge ahead with confidence, stay strong and focused. I just want to quickly mention there were some other cards that spoke to you not charging ahead right off. So I feel there's a period of a pause before you take this this road of confidence and charge ahead, because there is some kind of a pause that was coming through on the reading here, and I don't know if that's just a pause because you were struggling with something, or there was a necessary pause at some point anyway through this period where you won't be just charging ahead with confidence. So, but it is certainly a time with the Chariot. It's certainly a time for you to make those plans for the future and lay your foundations. It is a card of spiritual transformation and certainly getting past difficulties and successfully able to pursue your goals. It can be a card of some stiff competition, but it's also a victory card. But because you have your determination and you've got this newfound confidence, you will come out, as I say, victorious, because this is your month for sure. You're more in control of the things around you. You're more involved with friends. You feel stronger in your partnership with your lover. I feel that you're more able to establish, personal boundaries and to eliminate people that you're not comfortable having around you, whether they're abusive or controlling or domineering. But I should also mention there was some note of a domineering partner in this, or a controlling, maybe a little more of an over-controlling partner in this reading for this month. So maybe there is a little bit of push-pull going on there with some kind of relationship conflict. But nothing significant. Didn't see a lot of swords in here in your reading. There is certainly some new beginnings or a transition of sorts. But anyway, again, with this card, in terms of finance, it's really about you finding your life's purpose, and you're overcoming any monetary or career difficulties. And again, it's a card of victory. There may be a certain amount of aggression that goes with this card, but again, aggression for you, Taurus, may not be aggression as it may be for an Aries or another sign. So, for you, it might be you just being a lot more direct and straightforward, but it is still a time for you to be a little more assertive, and you will be rewarded for taking that stance. So again, it is a confident period for you because you are feeling the confidence in that frame. Again, June 25th to the end of July 2020. So the next card is Dragonfly. And this is, again, general energy card for the month of June to July. So the Dragonfly, it says that it have confidence during this time of great joy, renewal, and connection to spirit. Now, there were a few other cards that also spoke to you being much more in touch with the divine. I don't think it's just in terms of you heeding advice from spirit, but I feel that you are more connected to spirit in an even deeper way. I don't know quite what I mean by that yet, but I feel that it is some sense of not just listening for advice, but I feel that you're actually reaching out more in that realm as well. But this card again represents renewal. And I should also mention, you also have the Ten of Swords down here, which also represents renewal. So there's a lot of overlap with some of these cards here that indicate they are very significant, things that will impact you anyway for that period. So it does represent renewal, a deeper way of living. Something is opening up, and for you on a more of a spiritual level, your outlook and your understanding have changed. Your intuition is definitely stronger. It may be coming through to you in terms of dreams. Maybe you're getting signs in terms of numbers. You're seeing things that fall in front of you, whether it's money or some frequent feather or something, whatever represents something symbolic to you from a deceased loved one, or something that either way is making you feel more connected to the divine, to spirit, and it's uplifting and it's beautiful and it makes you have more faith, and you just feel more electric, like you just feel a lot more rejuvenated because of this connection. So it is a card symbolizing change, And certainly you've got the driving force behind that change with the Chariot. And it is also a card letting you know that you definitely have the confidence to follow through on everything here, that whatever your pursuits are. I do feel that you're also very good in picking up what's happening again with, friendships, and you're probably even drawing more like-minded people to you on this basis. But there's a lot of old friends that are still coming back from the past. Everybody's starting to come back into your sphere again. There's maybe a little more family celebrations going on and reunions. Either way, overall, there's some changes here that even about how you feel about certain people, I'm finding that you're starting to change. Your perspective has changed, shifted, and you're finding more joy in these relationships. But in terms of career and money as well, it is a constant change, but it is also speaking to you accomplishing your goals, and any self-doubts that you've had will be disappearing because you have found this new sense of confidence. You've got this new strength. You are able to, like the dragonfly represents, adapt to your situations with these changes. And because there is a fair amount of change during this period, that's exactly what you'll need to do, is shift and adapt to be able to overcome any hurdles. All you need is just that willingness to go forward. It doesn't matter whether you've got everything 100% worked out. The point is just the willingness to try to overcome something is what you need as a mindset for June to July, or the end of June to July. So again, this is like, again, that does represent twists and turns, roller coaster, sort of alongside the same idea of the Wheel of Fortune, and how things play out. But it can speak to burning yourself out if you're taking too many twists, turns, and thrills along that way. But it is also letting you know, enjoy life, enjoy it to the fullest, and get rid of those, any self-doubts that you have, because really it's unnecessary for this period of time. You have a lot of things really under your control. So that is, I'll go right into I think I'll go into the numerology deck here. So I'm not going to pull those ones forward because I think they're pretty visible anyway. But you've got compassion. And so the card of compassion here speaks to you needing to be kind and compassionate toward others. And I think that's why you've got that shift in your perspective with the dragonfly, because you are starting to see people that maybe perhaps annoyed you before, or, in some ways you looked down upon or had a negative, mindset about. You're now able to see them in a new light. So this card of compassion is asking you to be kind and compassionate toward others, and especially those that extend beyond your family and your circle of friends. So, for example, if somebody's having a hard day at the post office, or you're, in the supermarket lineup, whatever it is, or you see a homeless person, you're asked to look beyond your normal judgment, which you normally would think about somebody, in that position, and not to judge somebody until you've really until you've walked in their shoes, and really that lets you know that when you're able to be compassionate in that way, you're opening up your heart and your mind, and you're able to see through the eyes of love. So every time you feel someone else's pain, you're actually raising your personal vibration in the world, and that allows you to be more in touch with the divine spirit and information and knowledge that helps you to live a better life. So you're living through your higher self because you have shown compassion, and you are expressing adaptability by broadening your understanding of, whether it's broadening your understanding of a culture, or broadening your understanding towards somebody else's point of view, or to broaden your understanding of how other people are, their personalities, and how they present, and seeing that it takes all kinds of people to contribute in this world, and to condemn people for things you don't feel have value doesn't mean that they haven't provided value. So again, even with a homeless person, for example, that level of void that they may feel financially, and that lack of security may also have opened them up on another level, that they are contributing to life and to others in a very compassionate way on another level. So again, you have to understand that there is a reason for everyone's level of learning, and for whatever reason some of us come to those depths of destitution or pain, certainly help people along through those hardships, but also understand that it is a lesson there. There is a lesson in it for them that they may or may not be able to observe at that time. People get stuck in patterns, and sometimes they need a little bit of insight from an outside party, somebody showing compassion for them to be able to break that pattern. So again, just what you want to look for ways to increase your potential to make your dreams come true, but also, to help broaden, or rather to help others contribute to the world in a way that you feel that they could. I guess I'm just trying to look for a simple way of explaining that. But so it's okay again to observe where people are, but show compassion, not judgment. And that is the key to your success. So moving on past that one, again, we're moving into karmic completion, which really speaks to, as I mentioned, the Wheel of Fortune. So that would be this card here. So the Wheel of Fortune is you've come to some kind of a karmic cycle that's ended. So, and you were successful, you have paid a contract or a debt from the past. And again, that was karmic completion. And it's really about, you having gone through some kind of troubling experience or a difficult time where there was some pain and there was some lessons learned, and, and that's all coming to an end over this next month, from June 25th to the end of July. But it's also that you won't have to experience that lesson again. You have actually gone full cycle, with the Wheel of Fortune. You've followed the highs and the lows, because with the Wheel of Fortune, things that go up must come down. You've learned to adapt, and now you're able to make your dreams come true because you have been able to adapt, shift, change perspective. So you can pat yourself on the back because you have been successful with your efforts and you have faced your challenges head on. And again, it's also about treating others with love and respect, which will help you to be further rewarded. And again, help those that you feel that you can, but also don't judge who you feel will gain, who you will bestow your attention upon. Because I think, again, right there, that would be furthering judgment, which doesn't raise your vibration in the world. And again, when you raise your vibration in the world, you're able to, when you raise that frequency, you're actually able to get in touch with divine in a way that allows you to lead a better life and to be more fulfilled. More answers come to you at a much quicker rate and with ease when you're able to follow without judgment and show compassion. So moving on past that, I'll get right into I'll go into the playing deck cards. So again, you've got the Nine of Diamonds. I'll start with that one. You've got the Nine of Diamonds, the Two Jacks, and the Three of Hearts. So with the Nine of Diamonds, this is a card that's really representing a Virgo. Could be somebody in your sphere that is a Virgo, or somebody who just represents characteristics or traits of somebody who is a Virgo. And again, Virgos, tend to be people that are really well organized. It's a really broad range of characteristics. I won't go through all of them because my readings are a little bit long. But can be quite organized, and certainly people that are real go-getters and strong communication abilities, that kind of thing. So, but this does indicate that there is some serious disappointments in your love life that you may have gone through, or it could even be more related to your business abilities and communication at work. So this is also a card that represents health and beauty as well. But again, with the Nine of Diamonds, this is really just letting you know that sometimes you yourself can deceive yourself, and you can believe what you want to believe here, rather than validating it with facts. Sometimes there's a bit of an illusion that you create around yourself or around others. So just to try to remain with the facts. Don't add to the situation. Try to stay with what's actually relevant and what's currently available for information. So moving beyond that, again, that was the Nine of Diamonds. I'm just going to hold them up maybe one at a time here. Okay, so with the next card, which is the Jack of Spades. So the Jack of Spades is a card that can often represent somebody who has dark hair and complexion. It doesn't have to be, but just a point of interest. But it's somebody who's quite striking. Can be associated with somebody who is a Gemini. Again, doesn't have to be, but certainly Gemini quality, somebody with strong communication. It could also represent just a period of time falling between May 21st to June 21st, but again, we're moving to June 25th, so I would say it's probably less likely on the time frame. But it does refer to somebody who has kind of a dubious reputation, as they say. So it's somebody who has maybe some bad behavior, can indicate a betrayal in love or a troubled mind. It can indicate a character or somebody who only shows one side to their character, but they're really quite complex. This is somebody who has great wit. This is somebody who's intelligent, determined, and resourceful. So this is somebody who can bounce back, even if amidst, things appearing to be lost. They know how to bounce back, and they're almost a little bit cocky about it when they do bounce back. So this is somebody that is good to have on your side, but they're also challenging if you've made them an enemy. So this could also represent a child as well. So it's somebody around you that sort of falls within that description. So the next card is the Jack of Hearts. And with the Jack of Hearts, give me 1 second here. Again, this is also representing a person. Because with the Jack of Spades, you've got somebody who could even be that this is a love interest, actually, because with the Jack of Spades, this might be somebody that you know instead of a child. But again, I feel like I'm speaking to 2 or 3 different people, or 2 or 3 different Taurus people specifically. So just because it feels relevant for some, but again, well, anyway, with this one here, this does represent a Pisces energy. So it's a Cupid, a love card. It represents somebody who's good looking, somebody who has who knows how to turn heads, somebody who is calm, cool, collected, and fair with sparkling blue eyes, or could be attractive in a whole other way. They might be just somebody who really makes a strong impression, somebody who's could be very communicative, but either way, it's somebody who draws attention. This is a card, again, so I feel like this is almost a coupleship, actually, but it is somebody who could be a bit of a seducer or a fickle lover or a charmer. Doesn't have to be necessarily somebody who's a fickle lover, but certainly somebody who's quite seductive in the way that they pursue. But this is a person who likes to be admired. This is somebody who's associated with, could be even wearing a uniform, somebody in a uniform. But this is, as I say, related to love and romance. And so that's what makes me think that we're talking about a coupleship here. But it is a card that's saying, go out, have some fun, leave your worries behind. This is not a time for you to to worry, period. It is really about you just breaking away from normal routine, putting your problems to the side, and it's kind of that long-lasting love and joy situation going on with the Jack. So with the Three of Hearts, so the Three of Hearts is falling into hasty promises. So this is a card that could represent a Cancer energy, and again, same applies, doesn't have to be, but somebody who just has qualities of home loving and family oriented, which is what a Cancer represents, but very passionate person. So the card itself with the Three of Hearts speaks to when, and that's why I mentioned earlier about there being some kind of a heated emotional state of some sort that was underlying, and I didn't know if there was really an argument that came through. I didn't feel that it did necessarily come through because I didn't really see a lot of swords or anything in the reading here, but I did feel that there was some intense emotions. With these intense emotions, passions arise, things fly out of our mouth, and there's a lot of emotion behind whatever the situation is, and sometimes we regret having said what we said. So if there is any kind of a quarrel that is going on between this coupleship, and it is very likely that there could be, just because it is with the combination of the cards here, just to know that even this card does indicate a little bit of a disappointment in love. Maybe again there was some kind of an argument or something that arises here with the coupleship, but it's through thoughtless words and actions. So if that is the case, there will be some long-term consequences that go with that. As I say, I did feel there was something related to relationships here, and it did feel that there was something underlying that I just couldn't quite pinpoint, that it wasn't ready to come to the surface yet. But again, with now that card has come out, I do feel that there is some kind of underlying relationship tension here that that you just might want to address in a careful way. Again, I don't feel holding back emotions and resenting a person is the way to go, but I also don't think it's necessary that things rise to extreme temperatures that you're unable to manage, or anybody's unable to manage the emotion in the room. Because if you're dealing with the emotion and not the issues, you can't resolve the issues when there's a heated climate. So just to be wary of that and try to stay to the facts. And I think that's why those cards earlier that I'd read indicated staying to the facts and not creating illusions of what you think is happening. Because that was really what these 4 cards indicated, is there was something that you were creating in your head about what this relationship was dealing with, and there is some kind of a stressor there. There's some kind of long range issue that will have a residual, not just for this month. So just be aware of that, what you say. Okay, moving on into the I think I'll move into the Golden Palace, which is the Enchanted Map Colette Baron Reed cards. So with the Golden Palace, this is a card that's letting you know that there is always enough. I think sometimes, Taurus, you feel that, you're really worried about money. You're somebody, I think, who's a little anxiety ridden and worried about a lot of things. Money is probably what a lot of us are worried about, especially too with, having a lot of people not employed or having changed the state of the world because of COVID. So, but I do feel things are coming out of that now. So with this card, again, it's a card of good fortune. The Golden Palace is a card of good fortune. So it's about ambitions being fulfilled. You've got wealth, prosperity, something that's coming through. You've got emotional fulfillment. All of that seems to be long overdue and certainly at hand for you. So again, the Golden Palace is during this period, you are getting some kind of rewards on multiple levels here, not just in terms of friends and family, but also financially. There's something that's coming through for you. There's abundance all around. But again, it's a card also just, makes reference to abundance is not always just about the financial state of things, and, but it's also about how abundant your life is, and what you are and how authentically you choose to live your life. So how much you're willing to share with people, how much you're willing to, contribute to the world. And even though this card does indicate there's material gain coming through, you've got some rewards, and you certainly know your value here, and that is helping you to gain greater riches. But again, it's also about sharing the wealth. So, not just hoarding money, but finding ways to share it with those around you that have some meaning in your life. There's also the deep freeze, and the deep freeze is a card of a pause. And that's why I mentioned, even though you had the Chariot saying charge ahead and so forth, and even though the Chariot is a victory card, sometimes again there's multiple meanings to the cards, but it doesn't necessarily mean that every single aspect of the card represents your reading. So again, I feel that you're not to be charging ahead in this period. I feel that things will just unfold. And again, with the deep freeze card, I feel that this is really telling you, put things on hold, just allow it to unfold. So you're not ready to fully bloom with everything just yet, but you are able to work on things and allow it to, through your activities, allow it to unfold. But you don't have to push ahead for the success. It's going to come regardless, but just let it unfold. So it's also about taking that time to reflect and do some self-care as well. So, and in terms of arguments, put all those arguments on ice. And I think that one very strongly is coming through. Just put all arguments on ice. Don't try to deal with all of the issues right now, because I don't think they are the priority for this period. I think your ambitions are more at the forefront, at least in terms of growth. And I think you would want to spend more time on the areas of growth when you see a window of opportunity, rather than find yourself overwhelmed with emotional issues that might stymie that growth or further put you on hold, so that you're stagnant and not moving forward. Okay, so the next card is the Yamanya, which is the Golden Opportunity card. So this card says it's important doors are opening for you right now, and you want to walk through them. So as I mentioned, the universe opens doorways for us. It's not that they close and they'll never come again, but it may take quite a while before that door opens again. So that's why it's important to not lose an opportunity when you can, because it's a quicker chance for you to get through the door and grow and get to the other side. The longer it takes, the longer it takes. So when that door takes another, 3 or 5 years to get to before it opens again, you're having to wait and grow other areas of your life, and then you go back to this. So right now you have important doors that are opening to you. It's letting you know that everything that you've done, you prepared yourself for. So if you hesitate or procrastinate, again, the doorway will open again, but it may not be for some time. So allow yourself the chance to grow in this opportunity that is related to your career, I feel, is more on the forefront here. So don't hesitate. It's the right thing to do. If you were praying for something to happen, it's ready to go. Get ready for a big, happy change. You'll be able to celebrate your successes. So maybe there's some kind of, something that you've been hoping for, a trip or something that you've always wanted to do that's going to manifest here, or maybe it's a job opportunity that's finally opening up. But either way, you're qualified for this opportunity. You're ready for this opportunity. So as I say, I do feel for some, it's going to be a job opening. For others, it's going to be some kind of maybe a small business project that has been that's starting to flourish. But either way, there's rewards that are coming through. Okay, so we'll move on to the wisdom of the hidden realms. So this one is the Spirit Whisperer. It's about divine guidance and higher knowing. And as I mentioned earlier, I did feel that you had made a lot of changes and adapted on quite a few fronts here for this to have occurred. So this is about, you feeling more inspired. You're able to use all of your senses now, and you're committed to your intuition. And so the next action is the right action, and it will steer you away from trouble. So you need to listen to that to be able to move forward. So again, you have to always remain open to this inner voice, this guidance, whether it comes through in dreams or in terms of inspired ideas, but it will be ideas that fulfill your highest purpose, that keep you on that course so that you're actually able to take action and leads you to success. So this card is a good omen. In terms of soul connections or past lives, it's also about, in terms of a relationship, I think that it's also indicating that you have the ability here to learn through the mirroring of each other. So maybe this is, as I say, some kind of a past life soul connection, whether it's a twin flame or, this is your lover here. So there is some definitely speaking to somebody in terms of a relationship here, but it is speaking to bargains, soul bargains that are made, before we were actually born here. And so that exploration moves forward when we learn our lessons and that vulnerability that love brings. So again, mirroring each other, when you mirror each other, you're also able to understand the other person. And when you can understand the other person, you're not only compassionate to yourself, but you're compassionate to the other person, which helps to heal you. So then in that case, you are compassionate to yourself, if that makes any sense. When you heal through someone else. And that's what love does. Love helps us to grow and to heal parts of ourself that we might not otherwise have addressed. Self-love can be brought about by, some horrible things. Maybe somebody has put us through a lot of cheating or whatever it is. But it helps us to, in some way, the lesson can be, that you've learned self-love. I'm just using it as an example, not relevant to yours specifically. Just couldn't think of a better example. Okay, so this is the Chess Queen, and this is about trust and strategizing. So it's letting you know that as the Queen, you have all the tools that you need to go ahead and prosper. So this is where you're able to gain your peace. This is where you're able to gain your purpose in life. This is about you knowing what your vision is for your life. But if you need help along the way, you need to ask to ensure that you are able to take the action and take the right actions to have that process unfold in front of you. So this is about you knowing your own goals. It's about you being in alignment with that divine plan with spirit, and that you are able to win this game, basically. If you follow your intuitive signaling, those messages will be delivered to your soul. And this is where you cannot lose, because you will be able to make great strides, I believe, in this period of time. There's definitely something that is going to be happening for the period of, and again, maybe it's, you're finally getting the job that you wanted. You're finally able to move ahead in a goal or a dream, or something has come to fruition that you actually have more than just the idea. It's now taking shape and has form. So this is the Phoenix. This is actually where you've come from. That's that resurrection, that surrender to change. So this is about you celebrating that journey. You've reached that ultimate success. So again, you're getting some kind of reward or some kind of accolade, something that's coming through. But you've passed through this on a metaphorical, in a metaphorical way. So that death and rising to the Phoenix, death and rebirth, which is again what the Ten of Swords represents. And you also have the Karmic cycle of completion that has also ended here as well. So again, with the Phoenix rising, it's not that things truly die, it's really that there are changes. It's just things that have just changed, but they haven't actually died. It's just changing from one ending directly into a new beginning. So just because the person, if it was the death of a person here, if that person has left your life, it's not that they have disappeared. They have just manifested in a different way in your life. So they're still there. There's still a lot of remnants of that activity that's still there. And again, that's where life is eternal. Memories and hope and all of those things stay with us because it is, we actually own or have been not just witness to, but have shared in a piece of the individual. So again, the Phoenix is about reinventing yourself, and you're rising up and you're just feeling more powerful, as I said, more confident, just a lot more dynamic. And you're able to put this into projects that you have that relate to jobs or life in general. But you're putting it into in a creative way. You're expressing it. You know, I feel that this is just, you may have been tired with what you were doing and feeling like you had to move on from something. And this is really that celebration card that's letting you know that there has been a rebirth. You have moved into, you're ready for that change now. Okay, so I will go into, I think, the chakra cards. So the red cards represent the root chakra. So the Ace of Cups, of course, is about, new beginnings. And I should mention, you also had the Chariot. I'll maybe pull that forward anyway, too, just so you can see all the cards. But you also had the Chariot, which again was a repeat because you also had the Chariot back here. But you've got the Chariot and you also have the Knight of Cups. Knights are generally about messages coming through. But with the aces, this is really about, the birth of and change. And again, you've got some aces in the reading. You've got the Ace of Wands. You've also got the Ace of Swords, so dealing with energy and creativity as well as, clarity and mindset. But you also have the Ace of Cups. So you pretty much have all of the aces here in this reading. So the Ace of Cups is about the emotional aspect. So again, you're working with all three, so you really have come full circle with the changes here. So this is about internal desires, that things are allowing you to do better because you're now more fully committed to the moment. It represents love being offered, whether it's by you or another person. This deals with your root chakra, the red card, so it's dealing with spirituality and devotion and fidelity, and you're just feeling excited by life again. So it is about the things that can support you in the moment. So this card, as I said, is about you needing to be open to receive love with the Ace of Cups. So that's that's again with the Chakra Wisdom Tarot deck. But in terms of Ace of Cups in just sort of the general sense of the word, the Ace of Cups does speak to, it could be new love or just feeling whole again and joy and, new creations and beginnings and new jobs and new relationships, as I mentioned, or just getting out there and socializing, new ideas coming through, new baby, all of that. Anything that that does represent, period, just you even being more connected to spirit. But it is also about a universal blessing coming through. So again, I do feel that you are getting a whole bunch of rewards coming through. I do feel you're just going to have your feelings will be intensified. You'll just be really excited and happy over this. It's just a burst of new emotions, coming through with this combination here. And again, you do have, I feel, some kind of new job or new opportunity, new project, those kinds of things coming through. And it's definitely about you expressing your feelings here with the Ace of Cups. And you've got, as I say, several aces coming through here. So there's a lot of remarkable change for you that's moving ahead. And you definitely have all the tools to to forge ahead. So I also just wanted to make mention, when you do have a lot of aces in the reading, 3 aces can actually mean that you're getting the things that you desire, and whether that's marriage or kids, or whatever it is for you in terms of luck, it is still you gaining through hard work. And it's not something that's been achieved without effort. So, and again, you've got the Ace of Cups, and you also had the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Swords. So I'll pull those forward as we go through. But I just wanted to quickly mention, you did do the work to get to that point. So the next card, as I mentioned, was the Chariot. So the Chariot, again, is a vehicle. It does, speak to kind of that strong motivation, that determination to get somewhere. It is a card that is kind of dealing with, I'm trying to just to get a sense of how it actually interplays with the rest of your reading here. I mean, definitely it is a card of victory and confidence, as I mentioned, and certainly about strong motivations and ambitions. And again, it's still about empowerment and new relationships or karmic relationships. But again, it is about you having control also over your feelings. But it sometimes can speak to you being pulled in 2 directions, and you're just learning now to stick to the right path. It, again, was about determination and a bit of an adventure that kind of speaks to this new beginning here as well. And certainly because you've got the Knight of Cups that's following that. Just wanted to just to quickly mention again, like with that Knight of Cups, I'm just going to go back to the Chariot for a minute here. With the Chariot here as well, it is also about dealing with some of the shadow aspects of ourselves. So, you are, in terms of security, when you're feeling grounded, that's when you're able to bring things into form and manifest things. And so I feel that that's maybe part of your advice, is to stay grounded, to be able to bring things into form, to bring about your security, creating a foundation so that you're able to step outside and create your own platform. So this is about you breaking free from family restrictions or things that you felt were somehow that you were facing but were blocking you. So again, that true power comes from not avoiding the darkest parts of ourselves or the shadow parts of ourselves, but it's leaning into it and sending love, as they say, into the shadows. So basically learning to integrate those parts of ourselves by allowing them to exist, but not to control us or to demand our attention. So thanks for sharing, whatever the negative thoughts were or the dark sides of yourself, but not needed for whatever this particular blockage is. So, even sometimes just saying a little of that self-talk. Thanks for sharing, but your negativity that is in the back of your mind can be saved for another time to be reviewed. So sometimes, when you're really dealing with a lot of negativity or a lot of difficult things, it can be useful to have like couple of little sayings written down somewhere on a mirror or on a chalkboard or whatever it is, just reminding yourself, thanks for sharing. If you're, in your head a lot and you're having some difficulty overcoming a one-track mind, and just have a little cue card saying, thanks for sharing, or as Mel Robbins says, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get past the thought, get on to something else. She uses a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique to be able to break her pattern from sometimes laying in bed too long, and she feels a little depressed, and she needed to break the pattern. So how she did it was just to say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get up. you know, and then you just get on to the next thought. So again, there's different ways to integrate some of those broken parts of ourselves or some of those dark places that we allow ourselves to entertain. You stay in them too long, then they eventually become a way of life. We get comfortable with them having them there, and then it's difficult to break those patterns. So the faster you can break the train of thought, you know, certainly the better you'll be in dominating your darkness. So it does require emotional strength, not mental strength with this card. Okay, so, okay, where was I? We were on to the Knight of Cups. And again, the Knight of Cups can represent a person, but it can also represent kind of a, sorry, there we are. The Knight of Cups can represent a person, but it can also represent that a dream is coming true. It's a message that's being delivered with this card. So it's about something emotional that's an invitation or a proposal of some sort. It's intuition that's coming through. It's visions that are coming through. It's peacefulness. It's feelings. It's an offer. It's, you know, it's something that's really positive that helps you to carry your desires into and manifest them. So this is a reaction to your experiences that you've had, but it's a good card with the Knight of Cups. So that again was with the Chakra Wisdom Tarot. But again, there's also additional meanings like with the Knight of Cups as well. And as I mentioned, it's usually somebody who's bringing through a message. But the Knight of Cups can also represent that seducer. So maybe that was the person we were talking about earlier with the just the regular card decks. Somebody who's a seducer, or hopeless romantic, somebody who's creative and passionate, could represent, again, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy. Can be somebody who's younger or just behaves younger. Somebody can be a little bit dramatic. And it's also a card that speaks to you living your life on purpose, in the right direction. So again, however that speaks to you, it does also indicate that a gift can be coming through for you, which I did feel was coming through with some of the other cards here with the Ace of Cups. So I do feel, again, gifts still coming of some sort coming in here for you for the month of June 25th to the end of July 2020. But again, it can also represent a person. It can also be you being inspired, or somebody else who is inspiring you. But either way, whether it's a person or whether it is you just being on task and following your purpose, and you're getting a little gift of money or a gift of something that's coming in here for you that the universe is lined up for you, synchronized. But either way, it's good news. And again, it's just a positive all-around message. So moving on to that Knight of Cups is also, just want to throw in there, about seeing through illusions sometimes too. Because I did notice that you had, with the Ten of Swords here, although this one relates a little more specific to the reading, but you also had a lot of, like I said, the karmic end cycle here as well. It also speaks to me that that I feel that you're also, sometimes you get trapped in your own idea of what your thoughts are. And again, with that relationship aspect, I felt that you maybe created a scenario that wasn't really true to the situation. I think you were ad-libbing without really reviewing factual information. So just to be aware of that. But I think but with that card, I do think with the Knight of Cups that you are able to see through those illusions as well. Because I do feel you are transforming into somebody a little different than you used to be over this next period. Okay, so I think I'll go into the Muse cards here. So the Muse cards is again by Chris Ann. So the Nine of Inspiration, I do feel that, again, I felt, and you've got not just the Nine of Inspiration, you also have the Ace of Wands, which is also speaking to inspiration. The Wands are cards of energy. They're cards of direction a lot of times that relate to our passions, our dreams, our goals. So again, with the Nine of Inspiration, I just feel that you are on, it's also a card of protection, but it is also in this particular deck, and it's also a card of setting boundaries. But it's also about that final push, that you might be feeling like you want to give up on something a little too soon, but you need to be vigilant. You need to... The Nine of Inspiration would be the equivalent of the Nine of Wands in the Rider-Waite deck. So nines are still about action, but it's also about defensiveness. So, after all the time you've invested in something, whether it's related to work, which I feel yours is predominantly about work, but again, I feel like I'm speaking to three different versions of the Taurus in general ways here. But I still feel that this card is letting you know that you're okay to set those boundaries for protection around whether it's your heart or business or whatever it is, because you are with the Phoenix. Again, we had the card of the Phoenix rising, that spoke to, you being able to tie up those loose ends and meet your goals with this card anyway, but you're also able to do it through purposeful action, because I feel that you're becoming someone different than you were. I feel like you've got some kind of new sense of awareness, and that ability to adapt has allowed you to change with the circumstances, as I mentioned earlier. So there might be some residual of you still trying to hang on to the old, but overall you've made enough changes that you should be able to see more of that in more tangible form in this month. So the Two of Voices is about indecision. So it's about not knowing which way to go. You might have several choices or two paths, two options. You also had another card that spoke to this as well, about that indecision. So again, this card can represent stagnancy. This card can represent indecision. Again, it can represent the two choices that we're talking about here. This card is also about potential. So it can be about, it's really just about you, period, having to make some kind of a choice as well and to walk forward. So it's not about whether or not something's necessarily the right path, because oftentimes the way in which we achieve a goal or a dream, or pursue anything for that matter, even in terms of love, there's usually more than one angle to achieve something. There's the way that we feel most comfortable achieving it, and then there's another way that may be the less trodden path, and that's a really difficult one to take, because it's where you have to take a leap of faith and, trust in the universe guiding you without knowing a lot of the path or a lot of the steps that you would normally have taken, which have been tried and true through experience. So again, this is a card that's leading you to some kind of a transformative power, but it'll still be the right choice, so not to worry. You also have, the next card is the Three of Voices. So with the Three of Voices, again, that's about sometimes a painful separation from somebody, which I felt there was some kind of a heartbreak. I don't know if there was some kind of a loss in your life or an unexpected letdown or sorrow, something that led you to feel hurt and disappointed, whether it's a relationship ending. It doesn't have to be a love relationship, could be a familial type relationship, something that wounded you in some way. But you're now understanding what needs to be healed. So that emptiness and that, feeling emotional despair or from the separation, is maybe where that path is having you choose. Again, these were the general energies for this period, but I feel that you're creating a choice, you're making a choice, but I feel I feel that you're moving back and forth between some of those tiny fragments of yourself, and you're trying to find a way to weave it all together, so that you can go forward. So you are in a period of healing, in some way or other. it's moved on to the page of materials, which again is about a card of manifestation. So you have lots of cards of manifestation in this reading, and it's about discovering how to create abundance. You're practicing things that consistently enough that it is allowing you to manifest it. And again, manifestation is having the vision and then putting the action behind something and practicing it further, enhances your abundance. So it's planning, it's learning, it's new energy, it's new beginnings, new skills. This is about somebody as a page. It's something new. Could be the start of those projects, but things are starting to, you've got the first wave of success. Something has shown itself materially that you're moving in the right direction. So you might have been working on some new skills and manifesting things into being or into form, and it's now starting to show some form of reward. And again, you have the 8 of Pentacles and the 9 of Cups, which is exactly that. You went from a page, from hard working, repetition, keeping with your project, which has created the wish fulfillment card from your efforts, which is the 9 of Cups. So you've been diligently working at something for sure. So that is, so we've just got the, it's just a few more cards. We're almost done. The other deck I'll read from is, again, it's still general energies. It's the Everyday Witch Tarot. So these ones, again, they're more of a light, whimsical type deck. I love the images. I find that the cards are quite like a simple read. So this is actually the clarifier. So I've got the 9 of Swords with the Queen of Pentacles here. So again, with the nines are always about, taking action. You're still moving ahead. There's still, but it is indicating that, again, with the swords, it's about you being up in your head. It's about you being defensive. You feeling, probably, as I say, because we were talking about it from the other deck as well, the Muse deck, that there was some kind of despair or grief, some sort that you were thinking a lot about. So again, whether it's shame or obsession over something, or feeling worried about something, but you're learning to come to accept it. But with the 9 of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles, it also is a combination that speaks to, clearing out something to be able to go forward. So whether it's getting rid of messes, doing a clearing out in your head about, what's important and what you need to focus on, whether it's, just the kids before you or your immediate family, and dealing with the loss of someone else, and now having to look at what's still at hand, what's still in front of you to move ahead with. But you can't see that the path is clearing because it's a slow action to clear, and you're being asked to slowly take that action to clear it, probably because you might miss some very important steps otherwise. But it is still a card that is letting you know there's some other truths that need to sort their way through. So it's important that you take a slow process to clear away that grief and that depression or that anxiety, and recognize what's solid and what's still standing, what's still left standing. But again, 9 of Swords can be about that inner torture, nagging thoughts, feeling loss, regret, blaming yourself. It can mean an actual death of some sort that, again, you're dealing with there, or some kind of shortcomings. Can even be a lot of nightmares and so on that go with this card as well. But it is just, it's a dramatic, filled, emotional card. So, but again, with the Queen of Pentacles, you're starting to get rid of some of the things that aren't working there. It's just a slow process. In terms of career, this would also indicate that it could be a job that's eating you away, that you're doing either a lot of late night shifts, or there's a lot of mental health suffering, or that you are a mental health worker, something along those lines. So again, I feel like I'm speaking to a few different Taurus astrological signs here in relation to this, but take that as it resonates for you. So, sorry, even though those are new cards and I just took them out today, of course I had to spill wax on it, so unfortunately there's some damage. But anyway, nonetheless, the next cards are the Ten of Pentacles and the Two of Swords. So again, Two of Swords is what you also had in the other deck, the Muse deck, which also spoke to you needing to make some kind of a decision, with the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is definitely a card of, definitely a good card of money coming through and, absolutely gain and happiness. But again, because it is clarified with the Two of Swords, I feel that you could be looking at the same circumstance again in two different ways. You've got two different conclusions here. You may be swaying back and forth, indecisive, stagnant about, whether to go forward either with this feeling of happiness and engage, or whether or not, you're maybe trying to decide between the things that do make you happy. But somehow it's revolving around what makes you happy here. This decision to go forward with this happy family life and release something, maybe is the key here, to release something that is not allowing you to feel secure and happy and positive. But either way, there is some kind of a decision that still needs to be made here in regards to your happiness. So again, the rest of the month you do feel that you've got your worth back. You feel competent. You're figuring things out as you go. So I don't feel that there's going to be any real difficulty here. I think that whatever is allowing you to feel secure and peace is there. It's there. You just have to identify it. I think that you have all these aspects. I think the Two of Swords almost feels like it is maybe you just waffling back and forth, and it's just really, maybe the decision is really, as I say, just you trying to say to yourself, enough, I need to move forward. Now it's time that I need to start pushing forward, rather than an actual decision in terms of, well, it could be also a decision about, do I go back to work, or do I, find another way to, make money independently, or whatever the case might be. But either way, there's some kind of an indecision or a back and forth energy anyway there. So I also have the Six of Wands and the Four of Pentacles. So with the Six of Wands, definitely it's a victory card. It's a very good card as well. Definitely speaks to recognition and money coming through, and a lot of really good things here. But with the Four of Pentacles, it's about hanging on tightly to it. So I feel that whatever gains or rewards that you're getting, even though you've got success and things coming your way, and you're receiving rewards, and it could even be in terms of a relationship front, that somebody could be a little more controlling in the relationship than you're comfortable with, but overall it's still really good energy here. So in terms of feelings, that Six of Wands really speaks to you being adored. Somebody thinks you're, just amazing, and you're feeling good about yourself as well. And you feel comfortable. It's a card of protection, the Six of Wands. And then again, with the Four of Pentacles, it could be somebody, could even be yourself, hanging on to that hanging on to that good feeling, or hanging on to somebody that makes you feel good about yourself. It's just, I don't want to say obsession, although it could be an obsession, and it could even speak to, this is just a bit of a side note, something in terms of, somebody who's pretending they're richer than they really are. But it also speaks to guarding the heart. So again, I feel like I'm speaking to more than one Taurus here, so, only take what resonates, but I do feel that one aspect is in relation to a relationship with a Taurus, and then for another Taurus, I feel this is in relation to, into to money here, that someone's ego, they might be feeling good around somebody else, but somebody else is not really giving a whole lot back to them for what they're putting out. But either way, you just can't get somebody off your mind, or somebody can't get you off their mind. So that again is part of the general energy. And then moving into Temperance and the Four of Wands. So Temperance, of course, is a card of protection as well. And with the Four of Wands here, this is a card that fours are all about, trying to seek balance and that kind of thing. But the Four of Wands is about happiness and financial reward also coming through. And just to be patient with the Temperance card. So those blessings are coming through. There's going to be happy events. There's going to be celebration. There's some kind of, again, a completion of a rite of passage. You're moving into a new phase with this card. There's happier times ahead. All of it is, leading to a new pathway. It's a new gateway. Things are starting to open up for you. You've got stronger relationships. Your marriage and things are starting to come together for some. And it's about passion and enjoying that, and about starting to make plans to go out and socialize and dine, and you're just going back to family here is what this card really speaks to. And in terms of money, although this part of it isn't so much specific to the money, but in terms of money, it can also speak to inspiration and grounded, stable wealth. So from a work perspective, it's still about moving ahead and attracting new people into your life and positive feelings of joy and happiness. So, but again, just to be patient with the Temperance card. So the next card is the Page of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups. So the pages are generally, as I say, these are cards that let you know there's a message of some sort that's coming through. Cups are all about emotions usually. But the Page of Cups could represent a person. So if it is in fact a person, we are looking at someone who is... I should also mention that card is also about an unexpected gift. And because it's come up several times, at least 3 times in this reading, I do feel there's some kind of unexpected gift that's coming to you. But again, this card is also about family-oriented things. It's about the universe synchronizing things up for you. It is about good news. It can represent a shy person or, something like that, as far as could even be your inner child. But I feel that this is more along the lines of a message that's coming through as far as, and again, it represents a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy. But I just feel that this is also creative ideas, new beginnings in terms of finances, all of that's improving. And yeah, just overall new opportunities that are coming through with this card, and the universe is synchronizing things up. Synchronizing things to you to work for you. And I do feel an unexpected gift is coming through, but you're making the right choices with this. The 11 is a master number here too, so it's a master teacher. Maybe somebody's coming in to assist you with something, but it is involving, relationships and friendships and romance, but it's also about listening to your intuition. So just to be, aware of that you've got messages coming through intuitively as well. With the Ten of Cups, as I said, the Ten of Cups is speaking to happiness and, just being overly intense emotional happiness, family happiness, any kind of emotional fulfillment, any kind of positive energy. Balance is restored. This card is about safety. It's about money matters that, again, are still improving. Everything's improving financially. Even in terms of career, could even be speaking to writing or academic potential. But it is really a card that's letting you know you've got joy and things to celebrate coming through here. It's lasting harmony, stability, security, all of that. And again, it's a wish fulfillment card as well. It's about that safety and that success. So definitely on the right path here. Okay, and again, you've got the Page of Cups coming through with this, and the Hermit. So the Hermit, I mean, I should mention in the Temperance in the other deck, as I mentioned, is just a striving for balance in all things as well. But as far as the Hermit, there's wisdom in listening to the silence. So I feel that you are going inward here. And with the Page of Cups, I feel you're getting some silent information or some kind of inspiration. You're getting, intuitive advice that's coming through here for you. So something you need to know is coming through in that period of silence. So again, it could be coming through during a dream or something along that line, but I just feel overall you're getting some kind of divine insight. Someone is coming through to help you along the way to overcome some kind of difficulty here. Because the Hermit is about that soul searching, that soul reflection. It's about inner healing. You're going within to look for answers. And it is about that self-care. It is about you trying to find a way to integrate the many lessons that you've learned in life. You're kind of mulling things over and finding out how they apply before you go forward. So it's about withdrawing to be able to heal. And again, in terms of feelings, I mean, it can feel as though you are missing something. But again, because it's coupled with the Page of Cups, I just feel that there's something more there that is satisfying, that you're finding some kind of inspiration, you're finding some kind of understanding, you're coming to some kind of, divine inspiration or divine insight. You're getting past whatever has been holding you back in some way. Okay, so we're pretty much at the end of the reading, except for the career and finance part of it. So I'll just get right to that. And then we just have the advice cards. So what I've got on the forefront here is some kind of immediate message coming through. These cards aren't coupled together. I just wanted to show them together. You've got the Eight of Wands, which is usually about incoming messages, or it can be swift incoming messages, a lot of emails, a lot of, phone calls, a lot of texts, whatever it is. But these cards didn't come together, but I wanted to show you that you've got 2 eights. So whatever it is, you're getting past something, because the eights are all about moving past difficulties. They're all about overcoming and transitioning and moving into a new phase in our lives. So, but again, with the Eight of Wands, I feel that it's a time of high intuition in terms of your money. You're going to be soon hearing something coming in about your money. And I feel this is probably in June or early July. But I do feel that this is about you also having a lot of communications around something. So there's movement, there's maybe even negotiations, there's ideas, there's actions, there's sudden flashes of intuition, coming through with this card. Could be business ideas, creative projects, ideas that are coming through. But either way, I do feel that when you've got 2 eights in a reading as well, and you do, this is abundance. The cards mean abundance. So there's definitely something coming through for you. So it's about good fortune and luck here as well. So the card is about acting now, and it's also about creating your own luck in a lot of ways, but it's about more so taking swift action and getting sudden flashes of insight. You also have a slower moving energy with the Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles can represent a person, but I feel in this case it's more of a messenger coming through of some sort, news of some sort that's coming in. The Knight of Pentacles is a slow moving energy, so it can deal with hardworking, determined kind of a person. Can also represent a reinvention of yourself. It can speak to somebody who's not really a self-starter, somebody who, usually has somebody help to push them along to get things done. Again, if we're speaking of a person, somebody who's very hardworking and responsible, but nights are all about action or expression. So it can also represent you embracing your potentials and you're not wanting to miss out on an opportunity to create your own success. So it's about things being worth the wait. It might be slow to get there, but it is a secure way of those thoughts being turned into action, and you're actually able to realize a cherished dream of some sort. So it is a continuous cycle. It's somebody who's, as I say, if we're talking about a person, it's a traditional person, somebody who's really determined and realistic, dedicated, might be a little inflexible, but somebody who's really faithful. Just really slow to involve themselves in love, if that resonates with you. But again, somebody who's on a mission here. So, but I feel in your case, again, speaking to a few of them, a few Taurus energies, that's why I say I hate to be too specific, because I just feel like I'm getting more than one thing coming through. But again, we've also got the King of Pentacles. Now, this is somebody who's already mastered a lot of things in life. This is somebody who has power and discipline. So this could be somebody in your life. It could be you, that you're becoming more enterprising and competent and efficient, or really good in business, and that you're teaching. But it can also, as I say, if it's representing a person, it's somebody who's quite successful, who's reached the top, somebody who has good fortune, somebody who's competent and responsible, somebody who's very research-oriented, planning and strategy and things about growth are all what they're all about there. So this is somebody who is reaching goals, seeing things through, proud of their achievements, and somebody who is able to reach success. So just wanted to, but again, drive, determination. But in terms of money, everything's on the upswing. Everything is coming. Might be slow to get there, but it's coming. I do feel that there was a lot of hard work involved with this, with the Eight of Pentacles. So I do feel you're getting something that, again, is a reward for maybe not the efforts specifically of your efforts, but you are getting a reward from the universe because you have put in the effort. So with the Eight of Pentacles, it's also a good sign. It was clarified with the Nine of Cups, which is a wish fulfillment card, as I mentioned. It's about you concentrating all your energy, getting the job done. You're, reading between the lines. You're starting to check facts. You're persevering. You're proficient. You're widening or expanding your skill set. But it's also about, so you're learning something new, but it's also about you doing a lot of the repetition to be able to have it manifest. So I feel you're enjoying your employment here, and that it is, you're using a lot of concentration to master a skill, which will help you to be successful. You're applying yourself in the right way, you're staying the course, and you are getting things done, and you are on a clear direction. So just to stay focused here. So again, just a good sign, and money still coming through with that Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Cups. I do feel that there is some kind of a new inspiring, I don't want to say just moment, but a project of some sort that is inspiring you to continue on with, because you've got a new beginning here with the Ace of Wands. So there's a new beginning, there's an urge to create, there's a lot of passion behind whatever it is that you want to do. You're being resourceful, you're expanding. Again, this is about winnings, improvement of money, and better flow all around. This is excitement, inspiration, it's good fortune. It could be even winnings, but it's ambition, it's creativity. In terms of feelings, you're excited, you're passionate, you're feeling like, you're excited by life again. I do feel that you were in a period where you weren't as excited. So this is about you finding or realizing your potential again in a situation, and you're able to actually get started or get back to where you were at, and create your own luck. You're still putting in the work. Things aren't just being dropped down in front of you. You've put in the work, and now there is some kind of gift that's coming through from the universe. You also have the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles as well also speaks to independence. Can be you feeling very independent with some sense of money here coming through. I do feel that it's accomplishment, it's self-reliance. I feel you've got mission accomplished here. You know, again, this is probably toward the middle of June, or sorry, July. But I feel in terms of if it's relating to feelings, it could speak to you just wanting to be alone, but you're very independent and enjoying that. But it is, again, a card of mastery and somebody who's worked hard for it. So it could also speak to more money than you expected to receive with that gift that's coming through. But it also speaks to an entrepreneurial energy and having that freedom financially to do the things that you want to do. So it's some kind of disposable income that's coming through that's making you feel independent. For some people, it's only $2,000. For others, $10,000 might be the amount that makes them feel independent. For others, it might be $50,000. So again, it's whatever it means to you that makes you feel independent and secure. So that card was actually clarified with the Four of Cups. So there might be a little bit of a cap on it. So with the Four of Cups, maybe you didn't feel, maybe there was some sense of that you were missing out on something, or that there was some kind of discontent, or you were feeling unfulfilled at some point here. So maybe in your independence, there was a period where you felt like you weren't quite clear on your answers, and that maybe you felt you had missed an opportunity, or you were taking something too personally, or you had some self-doubt. But there was a time of contemplation here in this period of independence as well. So I feel that when you focus on what you can do with your skills, even though I feel you might be a little stubborn in doing so, I do feel that you will obviously gain, and you're breaking through some of this disillusionment and the doubt here as well. But again, I feel that there's a bit of back and forth energy where you still feel some sense of emptiness, or maybe not appreciating all that you have around you. But the universe is asking you to take a leap of faith here. And again, it did speak to surprise gifts coming through with that. So again, there's something unexpected that's coming through for you. With the Fool card, this is really about when you reach an end of a karmic cycle, you go back to that full state. So the full state is really about positive success. It's joy, it's the beginning of a journey again, moving on to great things, and, letting go of worries. It's that ending and beginning of the old life, and, some kind of a transition, a balanced transition into this new life where you're feeling like you've got some excitement, courage and potential, doors opening for you. So again, with the Fool, you definitely are moving childlike, maybe a little blind into wherever it is on this next journey, this next state of where you're headed. But you're being optimistic, and that's what's important. You do need to have an open mind when you're moving ahead. Because if you're moving ahead to something with a negative mindset, you're closing down a lot of opportunities that you're going to miss those opportunities because you're not seeing what could be before you. But when you move ahead optimistically, you have a broader perspective. Okay, and the last part of this is, you've got the Ace of Swords here. So the Ace of Swords, again, is more of a mental energy. And again, like it's definitely speaking to new beginnings and so on here as well. But with the Ace of Swords, it's about opportunity. So I feel that there was some kind of job opportunity or something that's coming through, or maybe you've finally expressed yourself on some level, or you've come to some kind of sense of clarity, but you're facing up to some kind of new challenge anyway, and there's mental energy behind whatever this decision is to go forward, or toward this opportunity, or toward this new idea, or this new job. There's some kind of communication. You're eager to learn again, start new projects. You're starting to see the path ahead, and it's an honest, just path. After the end of a cycle here with the Ten of Swords, which is a beginning and an ending, you're now starting to see the truth. You're starting to see the direction in which you can move forward. So you're cutting through that confusion here. And now it's just, you've made a breakthrough, period. So, and again, with the Ten of Swords there as well, I just feel like you've definitely made that breakthrough of some sort, because it is a beginning and end cycle there. And you're letting go, cutting through illusions with that card. So there's new hope. You're getting rid of toxic energy or toxic thoughts, or whatever you consider to be disaster, or a dead-end job or financial failure. All of a sudden you feel like everything is moving in the right direction because you have the Sun card. So the Sun card is a card of optimism. This is a card, it's one of the happiest cards in the deck. And again, it's about being optimistic. It's about feeling happy. It's about things moving in your direction, basically. It's moving in your favor. So you have a lot of really strong major arcana that are coming through here that speak to very significant events happening for the period of, June, end of June to July. And so with the Sun, again, money is definitely, it's about public recognition as well, but it's something that's making you happy, feeling accomplished, something that gives you self-awareness, unexpected money coming through with this. It's that boost of good luck. Again, it's vitality, it's fortune, it's good things coming in, and surprises and opportunities. So somebody could be generous with you, and in terms of people, it does also speak to writing and journal or publishing or something along that line too, for anybody that might apply to as well with the Sun card. But again, public recognition, or where you are inspiring people, is what's happening with this card. So it's a revitalized passion or sharing, awakening of some sort. There's creativity behind this card. There's healing behind this card. But the Sun illuminates things. So, whatever you were having some difficulty with, it's all in the past. You also have the Three of Pentacles. And the Three of Pentacles speaks to, working in a team, or, working together with people. It's also about a master craftsman. You're becoming maybe the master in some respect. You've got rewards that are coming through with this. And it can also speak to, in terms of feelings, learning to find some self-respect. It's also about all the skills coming together to be able to create this, to become this master craftsman. So again, it's about, in terms of feelings, feeling ambitious, enjoying your work, and you're really connected to your work. You identify with your work. But I feel that, you are still needing to improve some of your communication, just to pay attention to that and listen more carefully. But you are achieving cooperation, and you are looking for opportunities to show what you're capable of with this card. So again, it's success coming together. All the skills that you've learned along the way are finally able to create some kind of growth for you. You are in a growing phase in your life at this time, and you're learning, as I say, to respect yourself as well. But I feel overall it's, you just working together with other people, getting the job done. You are developing the skills and the knowledge and the learning, that goes with this growing phase. You're aware of your potential now. So again, you're feeling the confidence. And you might be working with a team of professionals as well. That could be where this collaboration is coming from, because that's what the three pentacles represent. Is that it is a lucky omen, and success is assured with this card. But again, it's planning and teamwork that goes with this. So again, you might really be working with a team of professionals, or really just enjoying the people around you that are helping you to move ahead. And the last card, which again, don't think it could get any better with this reading, is the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups speaks to you transitioning. This is the end, I would say, of July. You transitioning away from any difficulties, anything that was holding you back. For sure, all of that is in the past. You're on a journey of self-discovery here. I feel that, you've got some balance, and it is a period where you have changed direction. You're exploring different areas now, or different parts of yourself, or different lifestyles. but your position has changed either way. So you're leaving and avoiding anything in the past that caused you some sadness or some boundaries or difficulties, because this is a card of change here with the Eight of Cups. So again, it is about personal development, and definitely you have found yourself striking out in a new direction with this card. So success is waiting for you, and it's just a matter of you going after it and continuing to stay on the course. So that is your reading, Taurus, and hopefully that gave you a little bit of insight, and certainly it inspired me. I just wanted to let you know that you have a lot of things to look forward to, a lot of gifts ahead of you here. I do feel that gifts are coming through for you. In just to quickly create a synopsis of what I read. Oh, you know what? I did forget just the last couple of cards here. So maybe before I just finish off this reading, and I know it's gone on quite a bit. It's just because I'm still under COVID and just taking advantage of this time. So that's why I'm doing longer readings for you. But I just wanted to cover this as well with the partnership card. So that card, as I mentioned, partnership for some of you, doesn't speak for all of you, but partnership was at the forefront for some of you, and it was really about true partnership being achieved when you are separate and coming together in union, not collapsing yourself or merging into that union and trying to live hip to hip. This is really about, even in business matters, making sure that there is still a distinction between you and the other person, and coming together and appreciating each other for the things that you bring to that union, versus trying to do everything together and have everything 100% equal. Things equalize in their own way. So nothing's necessarily 50-50. Sometimes it's 70-30. But again, that is still equality on some level, because it balances out in other ways. So where you get 70 and somebody else gets 30, at another time they might get the reverse of that as well. So things do balance. You also have the card of protection here as well. And again, I did feel that you had a lot of, you had the Temperance card, which is also a card of protection too. So it's just about you controlling your emotions here also. During any time of transition, which you are going through transition, and again, which I ended it on with the Eight of Cups. So during a time of transition, you need to control your emotions here, because any kind of shift in that life course into self-change, of course, for sure, is going to have a lot of highs and lows, with the Wheel of Fortune, which you had two of those cards as well. But even though there's new opportunities and challenges that are coming through, and that also brings with it unwanted influences, just because you're not prepared for, things outside of your norm. But primarily this battle is really with yourself. So long as you're open and willing to accept the challenges that are before you, know that you are protected, that you always have advice or places that you can go to for resources or for assistance, so that you do have timely action and that you do act in accordance with the situation. But again, you need to intuitively allow yourself to be open enough to receive that protection as well. So if you're finding that you're in pain, observe that pain, stay with it, don't allow it to pull you down. Just, again, allow it to progress, but know that you're protected from it. And again, sometimes even creating, as I said, little captions on a mirror or little captions on a notepad, something that states, as they say, if it's a negative mindset that you just can't seem to break, doing Mel Robbins' 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, change your thought, go on to something else, or say an empowering word, something that calls you to action to stop the thought, or to have things on a mirror or in a notebook that helps you to change your frame of reference. Some people I know with NLP will hold I believe it's their thumb and their middle finger together as well, and you focus on maybe an anchor word, protection or healing or whatever that word is for you, or inspired, that helps you to get past or shift your train of thought. But either way, there's all kinds of other techniques and things that you can use, but I just wanted to throw a few out there so that you had a sense of how to maybe deal with some of the difficulties. Okay, so the last cards are the advice cards, and this is truly the end of the reading. So we've got Queen of Gabriel, the Wheel, which again is the wheel, as I mentioned earlier, with the karmic cycle, and we've got Two of Gabriel, which is about the indecision, stagnancy, making a decision, and the Star card about recognition as well. So in short, Queen of Gabriel speaks to, you can do anything right now. Go after what you want. You have the ability to attract helpful people. And again, I felt because you were either attracting professionals with the Three of Pentacles or having other people work in tandem on a project, that was something that you could go forward with, but you're definitely working with other people to manifest the goals or dreams that you're trying to put together. But this card is really, again, about either you being a charming person or someone else around you, but somebody is also helping to balance these aspects of yourself, and so other people are willing to assist you along your journey here. So it's about being passionate and popular and beautiful, somebody who's friendly and brilliant and confident, all of those things. So again, if it speaks to a person, that's what it would be, but it's also telling you that you have the ability to move ahead on your goals and dreams with the help of others. You've also got the Wheel of Fortune. Again, that's moving with new beginnings, end of delays, a change in direction that offers happiness. So it's that ability to adapt, move up and down on, as things change, and having that ability to be adaptable, because exciting changes are coming. And as I mentioned at the end there, you do have big changes that are coming. So you need to prepare for that. These are prosperous new opportunities that are coming your way, and unable to get things off the ground, you need to change your movement. So the idea of change, definitely worries us because it's something that's unexpected. But you are being pointed in the right direction. And again, following your intuition and being optimistic, because you've got a fresh start here, and that ability to adapt is there. So you are a new person in a lot of respects, because you've finished some kind of cycle, karmic cycle. So you have really transitioned into somebody new. So you're able and prepared to move forward as these new situations emerge. But make bold, ambitious choices. Great progress is possible. Important relationships with people who share your vision. So again, you're still involving a lot of other people in your process here, but it is about important relationships. So you're partnering up with people who share your outlook or your passion, and these are business partnerships, and your friendships and relationships are also, I'm finding, you're getting support from as well. But again, it's a long-term vision of something that you're looking at. But there is great strides that are being made in this period, even though this is a long journey ahead. Because again, with the Eight of Pentacles, this speaks to somebody who is working on a project that is not. You're past the Seven of Pentacles, which is the planning stage and the seeding stage, and the pulling things together with the vision, and you're now in the Eight of Pentacles stage, where you're actually building it, you're creating it, you're actually doing the repetitive work to make things start and move in the right direction. So beyond that, again, there's even further into the 9 and the 10. So you're still working at things. So it is a longer term project. With the Star, it's a time of great faith. It is a sign that's letting you know you've got that your enthusiasm and your confidence is helping you to overcome these difficulties. And so those are things that are going to fade into the past. You're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. This is, a wish card, really. It's about you feeling inspired. You're making those long-term plans, and they are going to be successful. You've got a renewed sense of purpose because as I said, you've already made some kind of shift, and you're following your intuition. Your dreams are coming true, and you have faith in yourself as well. And I think that stands for your relationships as well. I think that even though there's some difficulty there at some point, but again, it's illusions that you're creating for yourself. It's not, the cards told you to stay to the facts. So again, in short, even though the reading was long, in short, you've transitioned into somebody new. You are to be compassionate to others, and not to judge others. They're on their own journey, and to try to give back in some way. You are going to be gifted some kind of unexpected gifts coming through and rewards and acknowledgement and friends and family and support. All of that is coming through for you. There is money that's coming through. There is a chance that it's a slow moving amount of money, that's, even though you're aware of it, but slower moving to you, the money. But it is bringing you great happiness. You do have somebody who in your sphere that could be the person who's even providing advice for you, who's a King of Pentacles. Again, somebody who's a really successful entrepreneur or business-oriented person or mindset, but successful in their own right. But you definitely have a lot of cards of protection and independence, and you're being inspired here, and you're getting recognition. You're happy. You've got support. There's really not a lot more that I can say here, because the entire reading just speaks to, you've made a lot of the right choices clearly to move in the direction that you are. So I will leave it at that before it hits the 3-hour mark. And wanted to give you a heads up. Again, I'll try. I'm so sorry for the delays in getting the readings out, but life gets busy. So I will see you in August, Taurus. And again, what an amazing reading. I think you'll be busy for the next bit anyway.